and we were going on the road the next week at Boston College. So I knew that we weren't going to be able to get the job by beating Boston College, but we could probably lose the job if we didn't beat Boston College, start off 0-2, still have to go to Florida State. I still had South Carolina, Duke, and Virginia maybe left on the schedule. And so the memory that I have that I'll never forget is being in the press box at Boston College. There's about 4 minutes left. They just took the lead. There's a long timeout before they're getting ready to kick it off. And I can remember sitting in that press box thinking, the next 4 or 5 minutes of this game are probably going to determine the next 10 or 15 years of my coaching career. And that was a scary feeling. And fortunately for us, we had C.J. Spiller. They kicked it off to C.J. He took it back about 70 yards. And 3 or 4 plays later, we scored and won the game. And then finished up with a great win over South Carolina. And, it was definitely a difficult time, but now kind of looking back to now where we've been able to get to from that point, I'm just really proud. And it's been great for a young coach like myself to be able to watch Coach Sweeney as he's built this program, into one of the best in the country. And I know that'll be very valuable for me down the road.
Lots made of Alabama's front seven. What do you see in their secondary next season?
Yeah, there's a lot of talk about the guys up front because they're creating a lot of havoc, and they get noticed really well because of all the plays. I think they have 50 sacks going into this game, which is unheard of. But those guys in the back are very talented. I think it'll be the best secondary that we face all year. Both of the corners are high-level, elite guys that can really run, have great ball skills. You have to find a lot of video to find guys completing passes and making plays on them. Every catch that guys make is a contested catch where their guy's there and it's just a one-on-one, and the receiver makes a play with the guy on his back. So there's not many wide open receivers running down the field. They're going to make you earn every inch, but that's why they are who they are, and they're one of the top, if not the top defense in the country, because they've got great guys on the front end and great guys on the back end. And that's how you win championships.
Coach, with Deion's absence, obviously you have other receivers who can make plays downfield, Hopper, Scott, Peak. But it seems like against Oklahoma you didn't have any long catches, not the way Kane was making those with regularity down towards the end of the season. Does that affect the scheme or the play calling at all, or you pretty much just call things the same way as you have been?
I think the biggest thing is we're going to take whatever the defense has given us. We went into the Oklahoma game really thinking that we were going to get more man coverage and have opportunities for some of the deeper shots because of the success we had on the quick game the year before. And that's why early on in the first half, we really weren't connected in the passing game. That was more on us and the things that we were trying to do from coach's standpoint. And we figured out at halftime that they're playing us exactly the way that they played us last year, and they're going to give us all the underneath short throws, and they're not going to give us the deep ball. So I think more of that was based off how they chose to play us. But we've got a lot of confidence. Sharon Peak's the guy that's made a lot of plays for us this year. I think he's playing his best ball right here at the end of his college career. Artavis Scott, it was good to see him get back. He's healthy now after having his procedure there to clean up some stuff with his knee. And Hunter Renfro obviously is a guy making plays. Hopper's a guy that's playing well at this point. So we feel like we've got a lot of weapons, and those guys will be challenged this week against a great secondary.
Speaking of Scott, how does his knee feel after the game last week?
Yeah, it looks great. He looks back kind of to the mid-season form before he got hurt. You can tell watching him in practice, and then also seeing some things in the game, just the acceleration and the ability to change direction that maybe he didn't have quite down the stretch when he was bothered with that before the surgery. So, he's got a whole new spirit to him because he feels healthy and feels great.
It seemed like Jordan Leggett had a hard time finding catches against Oklahoma. Were they game planning for him, you think?
Well, I don't think so. I think it was just more of execution, making the plays that were there. We knew there were going to be a lot of contested opportunities, and Jordan's made those plays all year, and we've got a lot of trust and faith in him that he'll continue to do that. I think he probably has 1 or 2 plays that he'd like to take back, something he'll work on this week, and I expect him to be ready to go. know.
Alabama's bugaboo on defense, if they've had one at all the last couple of years, has been facing spread offenses with a mobile quarterback. Early in the season, they gave up a lot of points at home to Ole Miss, but then against Mississippi State, they did a really good job containing Dak Prescott. Is there anything specific you've seen on film that they've tweaked with their defense or done differently to improve as the season goes on?
I think just the way that they've recruited, they're more athletic at linebacker than maybe some of the previous Alabama defenses, where they really had some true inside backers that were mainly just run-stopping guys. And now, those guys, Reggie Ragland's as good a linebacker as I've seen in the country. Been very impressed. Him and Reuben Foster. Those guys cover sideline to sideline. They're 255 pounds, and they run like a safety. And very aggressive, physical guys when they get there to the point of contact. So I can see that they've improved, and they're a challenging defense. They're going to make you earn every yard that you get. There's not anything that's open or any weaknesses that you can see on video that you think you'll just be able to get some free yards. And they're literally running the ball and throwing the ball. You're going to have to earn every yard that you get. And this will by far be the best defense that we played this year, but this will also be the 5th defense ranked in the top 20 total defenses that we faced this year. So we faced some challenging defenses, and our guys have found a way each week, and that's what we'll have to do this week.
You're undefeated as a dad?
Yeah, I actually thought about it the other way, that my daughter Savannah is undefeated, and I'm excited because this will be the first game of her life that she's going to. She didn't go to any of the home games, and then she didn't actually go to the ACC championship game. And last week she stayed at the hotel, but because this game's inside in the dome, and obviously the magnitude of it, I think it's going to be pretty neat that her first game that she actually goes to is the national championship game. That'll be something we'll be able to tell her about down the road.
She'll be on the team flight?
Yeah, yep. And she flew last week to the Orange Bowl. Her and my wife Sarah went down, but they did everything except didn't go to the game.
Sarah wasn't at the game?
Correct. Sarah hasn't been to a game all year. This will also be the first game that Sarah comes to.
Well, what was she doing during the Orange Bowl?
Well, she was keeping Savannah.
Just at the hotel?
At the hotel, yeah. Her and actually Tony's wife Tamika and his 2 boys, they watched the game from the hotel in the Orange Bowl. But I believe everybody's going to be at this one.